Hello and welcome to the lecture series on Total Quality Management. I'm Dr. Vinod Kumar Yadav from the Department of Mechanical Engineering, GL Bajaj Institute, Greater Noida. Today we'll discuss one of the important aspects of quality engineering that is known as Taguchi's methods, followed by orthogonal arrays. These helps to design the experiments suitably. So starting with the philosophy proposed by Dr. Taguchi that quality is basically a measure of total loss that is caused to the society by the product. So when it is imparted to the society, if it is failing its purpose or not solving the purpose, then it may be termed as a loss to the society. So this loss may include the product failure, like environmental effects, like if the product is creating some pollution in the environment, that will also cause a loss to the society, or something else provided by the uh, that product that has been designed. So basically Taguchi's process include the identification of the problem, brainstorming, experiment design, conduct experimentation, analysis and conforming experimentations. So we'll discuss in detail about these processes and these sequence of processes in upcoming slides. So the step one was problem identification. So before designing any product, the company has to identify the problem. So for that we need a customer's feedback, we need the history of rework that has been done on the product or the servicing history. Okay, or we can also use some forecasting tools to predict the behavior of the product that has to be designed. So that is the basically problem identification. Then we do some brainstorming. So we form a team of group of experts and we do brainstorming. So intensify our focus on a particular aspects based on the identified problem. So the purpose of the brainstorming is to identify critical variables that affects the quality. So we have to look what are the variables. They may be controllable, they may be non-controllable variables that affect the quality. So we have to identify the control factors which may be taken care of during the problem design, and then identify signal factors. We have to find out whether it is creating some noise, as noise is a sort of virus or a defect that may cause or affect the product's performance. Okay, we have to choose a best plan as proposed by Dr. Taguchi. So we can use nominal the best plan, smaller the better plan, or larger the better plan. So we have discussed in previous lecture about these plans. So step 3 include the experimentation design. So that is very important, and these are based on basically orthogonal arrays. So we'll discuss today, we'll focus more on orthogonal arrays, how these are being created, how these are being used for particular experimentation or for particular product production. So in this aspect, if we start with the concept that assuming that there are n options and maximum optimization possible is to the power n combinations. So we can have a general idea about designing the experiments, how much experiments are being uh, there to be conducted to get the desired purpose. So we may use full factorial design. We can use this combination using this to the power n formula, and we may use fractional factorial design, that is basically preferable, and Dr. Taguchi focused on this preferable part, that is fractional factor design, and that will optimize the time as well as cost. So that basically fractional factorial design is a subset of full factorial design. So in this aspect we used to create some orthogonal arrays. In fact, these are available in the literatures, we can use directly, and these are being designed by Dr. Taguchi. So a good technique, this fractional factorial design is a good technique for that for design of experimentations. Okay, this orthogonal arrays helps to identify the effect of a factor in the presence of other factor. So within confined space we can find out what the first factor will affect the second factor and in which way. So we'll see some examples about this orthogonal array and the factors which affect the performance of the experiment. So after planning, suitably planning the experimental design and choosing the orthogonal array, and after suitable planning we'll go to the experimentation phase, and on based on this planning we can do our experimentation. After doing or after completing the experimentation, we have to analyze the results that has been set as an outcome of the experimentation. So after getting the results from the experimentation, we have to check whether they are coming closer to the target value, and we have to check whether the controllable variables are affecting that in which way. Okay, so after analyzing the results, we have to confirm experimental results, and we have to test the tests, and validations are to be done to sure that the planning has been executed properly. So in terms of experimental results, so we'll focus more today on design of experimentation, and these are basically based on orthogonal array concept. So design of experimentation is basically a branch of applied statistics. So this basically deals with how a product or process will perform during its service of operation. And we also focus on the parameters that affects the outcomes of the design. So basically design of experiments are concerned with the planning phase, conducting experimentation, analyzing the results as we have discussed in previous slide, interpreting the control tests to evaluate the factors that control the value of a parameter or group of parameters. So that is basically a powerful data collection technique and is a statistical technique. Okay, so for this also allows for multiple input factors to be manipulated at a time, and they can be analyzed within the confined space. Okay, so we have to look for all possible combinations that can be investigated. So we can go for full factorial design if the number of experimentations are less, or we can prefer the fractional factorial design, which is in fact a good technique for large number of experimentations to be performed in the experimental setup, in the production process, or in some other aspect. So basically this design of experiment is a strategically planned and executed experiment that will provide a great deal of information within short duration of time and up to an optimized cost and approach. So we can quote with an example that how the percentage of marks varies in after completing BTech in GLB ITM in our college. If students are being admitted in first year, so what is the trend of getting their final BTech marks after 4 years? So this, to create the data, we need some parameters like experiment has to be done over certain group of students, data analysis needs to be done. So statistics, we have to go for statistics, that is we have to find out the mean percentage of their PCM, we have to find out the mode, medium, minimum, maximum, standard deviation, etc. So after collecting all this data, we'll be analyzing the data and we'll be able to find out the variability of the curve, how this curve varies basically. So by getting that expression, we'll do it on the basis of PCM percentage, we'll do it on the basis of year of admission, because that also affects the overall result of the students, and in which department he is interested or she is interested to take admission. Like in computer science, he want to get admitted, then he has to score a good percentage of marks in CBSE board or in ICSE board or in some other board. So if we want to get admission in some other branch, that also hampers the that criteria. Okay, so for doing such a simple thing, we need a lot of statics to be performed. So that basically deals with the experimentation procedure. So we have to go to some students, we have to collect the data of their academic education, degree, and then we'll be able to find out the variability curve. We will be able to plot the target value. Then we'll see how this target varies from or shifted from a lower specification limit to upper specification limit as per the requirements. So as we can say that lower specification limit can be the minimum marks that is being expected to pass the student, and upper specification limit is the highest percentage of marks based on the history of the students, on which we can set the upper specification limit. And similarly, we can find out the various parameters like mean, mode, median, minimum, maximum, and standard deviation. So this is an example how this particular parameter, that is design of experiment, is important to take care of a large amount of data and to interpret some good results. So now coming back to orthogonal arrays, that basically orthogonal array is a central part of Taguchi's concept of conducting experimentation. That is very important. Okay, we'll see here how it is important. So that is basically orthogonal array is a simplified method of doing experimentation. So after finalizing noise factor designs like wear of the component, like seal leakage, what kind of seal we are using, so experiments need to be conducted to find the optimum setting of the design parameters. So if we have to go for a 10,000 experimentations, it may take even 1 year to complete that entire process. So we have to optimize that so that the time taken by the experimentation must be reduced, and the concerned cost will be ultimately reduced. So Taguchi basically recommended to conduct a fraction of total number of possible experiments, that is known as fractional factorial design. Okay, this orthogonal array basically represents a matrix of numbers. We'll see here with an example that represents a matrix of numbers. Okay, each row represents the level or states of the chosen factor. So this row is representing the level. Okay, this 1 or 2 indicates the level of the chosen factor. Okay, so these are certain rows. These are rows. Experiment number 3, third row, fourth row, fifth row, and levels are like for row 1 the level is 1 1 1 1 1 up to 7 factors. These are the columns showing the factors. So each column represents a specific factor, like column number 1 represents factor f1, okay, whose effect on the response variable of interest is being taken care of. So this may be, for example, for machining, this factor may be depth of cut or speed of the spindle or speed of the machine or anything else related to the cutting procedure. So this is a controllable factor. This may be a noise factor or controllable factor. Okay. So these are certain factors. In every column we have different factors to be taken care of, which affects the performance or response of the system, okay, or the product or the process. So what we have to note here is that every factor setting must occur same number of times. Okay, here we have 8 number of columns, this rows, and we can see here experiment runs are 8. So every factor setting has to occur same number of times. So this is appearing for 4 times. This is level 2 is appearing for 4 times. For instance, we can compare level 1 with a low level phenomena, level 2 with a high level. For example, we want to conduct experiments at 300 Kelvin and 500 Kelvin. So this one may represent 300 Kelvin temperature, 2 will represent 500 Kelvin temperature. So it is very, very important that every factor setting occurs same number of times for every test setting of all other factors. So what will be the benefit? This will ultimately help to make a balanced comparison. In each column we can see this balancing is being done. So this will help to make a balanced comparison among factor levels under a variety of conditions. Okay, see, we can have a number of variety of conditions and these factors are basically balanced. So orthogonal array selection rules are basically for 2 levels. If the number of factors, these factors f1, f2, here 7 number of factors are shown. Okay, so if the number of factors varies from 2 to 3, then we have to we must adopt L4 orthogonal array. Okay, so we'll see what is how it is being constructed, and in fact we can find these orthogonal arrays in the literatures as well as in the appendix section of this Westerfield book that we are referring to for this particular subject. Okay, so if the number of factors varies from 4 to 7, then we must go for L8 orthogonal array. If varies from 8 to 11, L12, 12 to 15, L16, and so on. Okay, and for 3 levels, if this level is here in this table, the level is 2 only, that is low and high, low temperature and high temperature, or low pressure and high pressure. If it is 3 levels, so low temperature, medium temperature, and 3 number represents high temperature. If the levels are 3, then number of factors varies from 2 to 4, then we must prefer the L9 orthogonal array. We'll see this also, how this is being constructed. And if the number of factors for 3 level technique varies from 5 to 7, then we must prefer the L27 orthogonal array. Here is an example of L8 orthogonal array. Okay, so in L8 orthogonal array, these are the 8 experiments that have been planned. Okay, and this represents a 2 to the power 7 because number of levels are 2 and number of factors are 7. So f1, f2, f3, f4, f5, 6 and 7. 7 factors are there, like speed, depth of cut, feed, revolution of the spindle, and so on. So these are 7 factors for machining operation, for example. So this L8 orthogonal array will represent 2 to the power 7 orthogonal array. Okay, number of levels are 2 because we can see here low level, high level, low low, high high, low low, high high. This is low low, high high, high high, 4 times high, then low low. So the setting of the experiment has to be changed. For example, for experiment number 1, the factor 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 7 has to be set in such a way that they are set to their lower levels. For example, factor 1 is temperature, factor 2 is pressure, and we are doing experiments at low temperature and low pressure. So temperature is 300 Kelvin and other temperature, high temperature is 500 Kelvin, corresponding to level 2. Say pressure is 1 bar and 10 bar. Okay, so here we can see that in experiment number 1, what we have to set the machine or experiment in such a way that the lower temperature and lower pressure is maintained. Similarly, all other parameters are kept at their lower level, and here it is important that the levels are only 2, okay, low or high. So we can use here this experiment number 1 will be running at its lower condition. So this was the unique purpose designed by Dr. Taguchi in terms of orthogonal array. Okay, so we'll discuss more about this orthogonal array. So what we have discussed, the salient points are, from table 2 we can see this. Okay, this OA8, the 8 in the designation OA8 represents the number of rows, as we have discussed in previous slide. These are the number of rows, okay, which are basically experiment numbers, or we can say that these are treatment conditions on which treatment we want to do the experimentation, and the degrees of freedom. We will also discuss about degree of freedom in next slide. Okay, top of the row of orthogonal array represents the factors, as I have told. So these are salient points that we have discussed just before that slide. So this row indicates the number of factors to be used, not necessary that these are 7 factors. Okay, this may be 2 factor, 3 factor, 4 factor, depending upon our experimentation that has been planned. Okay, so as we have seen, the levels can be represented by 1 or 2, 1 representing the lower value, 2 representing the higher value. But in case of more levels, we can go for 3, 4, 5, or we can use plus or minus symbol, but preferably we use 1 and 2. Okay, 1 for lower level, 2 for higher level. As I have told you, lower level is the lower temperature, higher level is the higher temperature. It's an example. Okay, the parameter may be anything like low speed, high speed, low pressure, high pressure, and so on. So this 1 corresponds to low level and 2 corresponds to high level. The properties of OA, that is orthogonal arrays, cannot be compromised by changing the rows or the columns. We cannot change. This has been designed by Dr. Taguchi. So we cannot change or shift the number of this row to upper part or to lower part. Okay, that has to be followed as it is. Okay, but we'll see if there is an interaction, then there is a provision to modify this row and column. So we'll see that is also defined. Okay, Taguchi changed the rows from traditional design so that this treatment condition 1 represents the lower levels at all for all factors. So he has proposed that at initial starting phase, the experimentation has to be set to its lower value, and then in second experiment it will be changed. So in experiment 2 we can check here that first 3 parameters will be set at lower levels and next 4 parameters will be set at their higher levels. In experiment number 3, the first parameter at lower level, second factor at higher level, third factor at higher level, fourth factor at lower level, fifth at lower level, sixth at higher level, seventh at higher level. In this way, we can plan the experimentation in a system which is having 7 factors that are varying. Okay. So orthogonal arrays can also handle dummy factors and can be modified. Okay. So how these can be modified, we'll see. Firstly, we'll see some example of L4 orthogonal array that is 2 to the power 3. So this represents the level, number of levels are 2, that is 1 or 2, low or high level. To the power 3 represents the factors. So there are 3 factors. So F1, F2 and F3, these are 3 factors. So for this L4, we have to write like 2 factors, 1, 2 and 4 is the number of experiments to be done. Okay. So these are 4 experiments, 2 levels, 1 and 2, low level, high level, and 3 factors, 1 factor, 2 factor and 3 factor. Say for example pressure, temperature, and say it's an equivalence ratio. Okay, for example. Then for L9 array or orthogonal array, we have 3 factors to the power 4, we have 3 levels to the power 4 factors, 3 to the power 4. So we can see here, so number of levels are 3 because low level, 1 represents the low level, 2 represents the medium level, 3 represents the high level, and number of factors are 4, f1, f2, f3 and f4. 4 factors are there, so that is an L9 orthogonal array. Okay, 3 to the power 4. We can check here. So 9 experiments are to be done, L9 for 9 experimentations, or number of treatment conditions are 9, and the system is designed in such a way that it is having 3 levels: low level, medium level and high level. So these are set in such a way that, as proposed by Dr. Taguchi, the experiment number 1 is set to lower level for all factors. Okay, so these may be anything, the factors that depends upon the treatment condition or the experiment that we want to do. So here we can see also that we may turn some interaction between the tables. So we'll discuss in detail about this also. Okay, L8, this is for noise factors. So this is column numbers representing the factors F1, F2, and this is an interactive table. Say there is an interaction between the parameter F1 and F2. These are dependent variables. So we can calculate their multiplication also, and put here that value. Okay, that is a dummy table. So this 1 corresponds to f1 into f2, column 1 column 2 multiplied 1, where we'll be getting this higher level into higher level will turn into lower level. That is not 4. 2 into 2 is not 4, but higher level will correspond to another lower level. So but in case of 2 or and 1, we'll take 2. 2 into 1 2, 2 into 1 2, 1 into 2 2. But wherever we will be getting this 2 into 2, we'll be setting it to lower level, because 2 levels are kept at higher level. So that has to be kept to lower level. That third factor, that is the multiplication of first two factors, must be kept at lower level. So if we'll verify the results, so here this is third factor. Fourth factor in fourth column is basically the product of first column and third and fourth column, and this factor is the product of second column and fourth column. Okay, and this is fourth factor. So these are interactive factors which are having some interrelation between each other, and these are independent factors. F1, F2, F3 and F4 are independent factors. F1, F2, F1, F3 and F2, F3 are dependent factors. So if we'll verify the result, that will come similar to that a simple orthogonal array L8 array that we have discussed in previous slides. So we can check here, all the values are similar. In fact, after keeping a dummy uh, column inside that, which is a product of these two variables. Okay, and this basically is a dependent variable, because these two depends upon each other. Say for example, pressure, temperature depend upon each other, then we may take a combination of this expression consisting of pressure and temperature relations. Okay, so some examples of controllable factors can be related to machining, can be feed, depth of cut, spindle speed, as I have told you. Okay, so more orthogonal arrays can be adopted from this. These are provided in the appendix of the books. As I have told you, we have referred this Dale H. Westerfield book, and it's provided in the table H, appendix table H, at page number 249 to 253. So we can refer further orthogonal arrays from there. Okay, so we'll now focus on selection of appropriate orthogonal arrays, how to choose the orthogonal array. So this include 4 basic steps. Okay, to choose the appropriate orthogonal array. Which one is suitable for our purpose, that has to be taken care of, that has to be chosen. So our project team, that is team of experts, will define, will check, will verify, will see the history and define the number of factors and their levels that are important for our experimentation. Okay, this will be chosen by the project team. So these factors are important. They have to choose which factor is affecting the performance of the product or performance of the service. So they have to identify the factors based on their experimentation, based on their experience and knowledge, and their levels are to be chosen. Okay, whether they are acting at 2 levels, low level, high level, or multiple level, or 3 levels or 4 levels, right? So project team will choose the number of factors and number of levels. Okay, so if number of factors are 3 and number of levels are low and high, then we can choose 2 to the power 3, that is 8. Okay, then they have to determine the degrees of freedom. So we have to find out the degrees of freedom. We'll discuss today how to find out the degrees of freedom of orthogonal arrays. Then select an orthogonal array. After finding out the degrees of freedom, that is number of treatment conditions, we'll go for choosing the suitable orthogonal array from the available orthogonal array tables. These are available in the books and references. So then consider any interaction. If there is, as we have talked here regarding interaction, factor 1 and factor 2 are interacting, so we have found F1 into F2. So here we have to consider any interaction if there. Okay, so we'll start with selection of appropriate orthogonal array procedure in detail. So the step 1 was the project team will choose the suitable factors and their levels. Okay, then step 2 includes determination of degree of freedom. So this determines the minimum number of treatment conditions required to be plotted in the orthogonal array table. So how it is calculated? This degree of freedom will be equal to this number of levels minus 1 for each factor. How many factors are there? Say 4 factors. So this number of levels, say 2 levels, 2 minus 1 into 4, plus number of levels minus 1 into number of levels minus 1 for each interaction. If there is some interaction, as I have told you here, that there is an interaction between factor 1 and 2, so we can find out this F1 into F2. So if there is any interaction, then we have to find out this parameter also. Number of levels, we know it is 2 minus 1, number of levels minus 1 multiplied by for each interaction. How many interactions are there? We'll discuss this also, how this interaction is calculated. Plus 1 for the average value. So we take an example here. Say we assume that there are 4 factors with 3 levels. Okay, so we are considering here 4 factors with 3 levels. 2 interactions are noticed. Okay, for this case. So find out the degree of freedom. So we have to choose a number of rows to be adopted in the orthogonal array. So as per this expression, we have put here as 4. Number of each factor, number of factors are 4 factors. So we have put here 4 multiplied by number of levels are 3. So 3 minus 1 plus number of levels into number of levels minus 1 for each interaction. Using this expression, we can find out 4 into 3 minus 1 into 3 minus 1 plus 1 for the average. So this comes out to be 25. Hence, we need 25 treatment conditions for 3 levels of this particular set of factors. Okay. So consider this same problem with 2 level. The degree of freedom will be 9 only. If we put here 2, 2 minus 1, 2 minus 1, 2 minus 1. So we'll be getting 9 value. Okay. So we can check here, it is 25 and it is 9. A huge difference between the required number of experimentations. So we can say that the number of levels significantly affects the number of treatment conditions. Here only it is 9, it is 25. So wider number of operations or experiments are to be required to be done for this particular set of condition. Okay. So but if one thing is clear, that if we go for higher values or higher levels, these provide more information about the process, but they may be termed as costly process. Okay. So if we don't have these experimentations or these experience, we can have a general rule for maximum degree of freedom. For this particular condition, the maximum degree of freedom can be L to the power f, where L is the number of levels and f is the number of factors. For example, for this example, if we put here number of levels as 3 and number of factors are 4, so we have to conduct this maximum degree of freedom will be 81. So we have to go for 81 test runs. So that is the condition for maximum degree of freedom. Okay. Then step 3 will focus this, basically this was the step 3, to select an orthogonal array that is appropriate. So after computing the degree of freedom, we can find out the number of treatment conditions, and that must be equal to the number of rows in the orthogonal array and must be more than equal to the degree of freedom. Okay, so this number of rows or number of experiments to be done may be equal to the degree of freedom calculated here, as we have calculated here using certain relations. This must be, this number of rows, like this number of rows must be equal to that degree of freedom, or maybe greater than that degree of freedom, but it cannot be less than degree of freedom. Okay, so refer this table. So in this table we can check here, column number 1 represents the orthogonal array, column number 2 represents the number of rows that is expected in this particular orthogonal array, column number 3 represents the maximum number of factors that can be used, column number 4 is divided into 4 parts showing 2 level, that is 1 2, 3 level 1 2 3, 4 level 1 2 3 4, and 5 level 1 2 3 4 5. So we can use any of these parameters, these are standard parameters. So we can see here, if the number of degrees of freedom is 13, okay, so number of degrees of freedom is 13, then next available orthogonal array is OA 16, because as we have seen here, the number of degrees of freedom, this treatment condition will be equal or maybe more than the degree of freedom. So degree of freedom here available is, the orthogonal array available here is OA 12, but we have calculated the degree of freedom as 13. So this 12 cannot be used because that is less than the calculated degree of freedom. So we will go to next level, and that available orthogonal array is OA 16. So the number of degrees of freedom for 13 is, the next available OA is OA 16. Okay, this can be used. Okay. The second column of the table has the number of, this number of rows, and is redundant with the designation in the first column, as we have here 4, 8, 9, 12. So these represents the number of rows. So 4, 8, 9, 12, 16 and so on. Okay. The third column represents the maximum number of factors that can be used. So with this orthogonal array we can use only for 2 level condition. Okay, 0 1 1 2 condition. So number of factors may be maximum up to 3 factors can be used for this orthogonal array. We cannot go beyond that. So, and it is important that we must use a 2 level only. Okay, we cannot use 3 level, 4 level, 5 level for this particular condition. Okay, and similarly we can check here for OA 9 we have 4 number of maximum conditions, and this can be used for 3 level only. Okay, similarly this OA 16 can be used for 5 level of conditions. Okay, this OA 5 can be used for this 6 number of this 5 level is 6 number of factors can be used. Okay, so these are the maximum, and these represents which level it is suitable to which level of condition. Okay, 2 level, 3 level, 4 level or 5 level. So we can use this table to, after calculating the degree of freedom of our designed system, we can choose from the standard tables which one to be preferred. Okay, so we cannot use this like for orthogonal array 8, number of rows are 8, number of factors can be 7 as we have seen earlier, and 7 factors can be used in 2 level conditions only. We cannot use in 3 level, 4 level or 5 level. So after observing these values, we can predict that there is a geometric progression for 2 level arrays. So check this 2 level arrays, OA 4, okay, OA 8, OA 16 and OA 32. Okay, so this is 2 to the power 2, this is 2 to the power 2. Okay, then this OA 8 is 2 to the power 3. Okay, then OA 16 is 2 to the power 4, and OA 32 is 2 to the power 5. Okay, for 2 levels there is a geometric progression for 2 level arrays of these particular rows. Okay, similarly for 3 levels we can check that for OA 9, OA 27 and so on when we go to OA 81. So this will come to be 3 to the power 3 for OA 9. Check this, 3 to the power 3. Okay, OA 27, 3 to the power 4. Okay, this was OA 9 is 3 to the power 2, OA 27 is 3 to the power 3 and so on. OA 81 is 3 to the power 4. Okay, so that seems to be a geometric progression series. So now we'll consider the interaction. That is very important, as we have started there the discussion about the interaction. So from this table we can again check what is the meaning of interaction. Okay, because there may be interaction between two factors. Factor 1 is dependent upon factor 2. So we may compute their interaction also. There is a relation between say pressure and temperature. So we can use this relation here and compute that factor, that relation. Say as we know that this T2 by T1 is equal to P2 by P1 to the power gamma minus 1 upon gamma for a certain set of condition in Otto cycle like. Okay, so for experimentation we know that there is a relation between pressure and temperature. So we can use that T2 by T1 as a this multiplication factor like F1 F2, and we can put it here. Okay, so we can check from here that factor 1 is assigned to column 1 and factor 2 is assigned to column 2. Okay, if there is any interaction between factor 1 and factor 2, the column 3 will represent their interaction F1 into F2. Okay, and please note that this 2 2 will represent lower level, because this 2 into 2 cannot be 4 here, we have two levels only. So this will be set to the next lower level. Remaining it is as it is, 1 into 1 1 1 1 1 1 2 2 1 2 2 2 1 2 2 1 2. This 2 2 is 1. Okay, keep it in mind, 2 2 is 1. Here also we can check there is another interaction. So if there is an interaction between column 1, that is f1 factor, and f3 factor, column 4, then interaction this f1 f3 will occur in column 5. Okay, if there is an interaction, next column is to be set for the interaction, and so on. If there is an interaction between f2 and f3, we can set here at column 6. Okay, and other independent factor is f4. So if there is no interaction between two factors, then we can use the column as it is used in the orthogonal array 8, as we have discussed earlier. Okay, so the actual experiment is conducted using the columns designated for the factors, and these columns are referred as the design matrix. Okay, we'll further see the Dr. Taguchi used some linear graphs for interaction. Okay, so this is one of the techniques of finding out the interaction, how this will be computed. We'll see here. So we have to assign different factors with points. So this is point number 1, point number 2, point number 4, point number 7. So these are the points. Factor f1 is assigned to column 1. This is column 1. Say factor f1 is assigned to column 1, and factor f2 is assigned to column 2. Okay, if there is an interaction between f1 and f2, then we'll assign column 3 to the its product, that is interaction f1 into f2. Okay, as we have done in this table. I've done here f1 assigned to column 1, f2 assigned to column 2, this f1 f2 is assigned to column 3. So graphically we can check here, f1 assigned to column 1, f2 parameter assigned to column 2. So this interaction will be assigned to column number 3. So we'll make a line segment from 1 to 2, and this line segment will represent an interaction between 1 and 2. So column 3 will represent the f1 f2. So if there is no interaction, then column 3 can be used for a new factor. Okay, if there is interaction, then we can use this process. So we can see here that column number 2 is assigned with factor f2, column number 4 is assigned with factor f3. So if there is an interaction between f2 and f3, so we can put it here also. Okay, f1 f2 f3, and if there is an interaction between 1 and 4, we can put it here as f1 into f3 in the column number 6. And we have shown here that factor f4 is independent, it is not dependent upon, or there is no interaction with other factors, so it is plotted independently. Okay, so another example is one factor with three two-level interactions. So we can see here two level of interactions, and these are three in number. So three-level orthogonal arrays must be used, or must use two columns for interactions. Okay, because one column is for linear interaction as discussed here, and other for quadratic interaction. So we can find out the quadratic interaction also for one factor with three level of interactions. The interaction table are not drawn for three or more factor interactions. So basically that is the rarest case in which we find out one factor with three two-level interactions. Okay, so use of linear graphs requires some trial and error activity. Okay, that requires some knowledge and skills to draw this graph, and a number of solutions may be possible using this particular graph. Okay, so linear graphs for interaction between two factors proposed by Taguchi can be understood. How this interaction can be very less or can be very high. So we have to identify the interactions. Okay, so to identify the nature of the interaction, we have to use a graphical technique like this. The graph is constructed between, or constructed by plotting the points a1 b1, this a1 point a1 b1, point a1 b2, a1 b2, point a2 b1, and a2 b2, and drawing a lines between them. Okay, so what was the Taguchi's approach? This is very important. So we'll see from here. Interactions use the degree of freedom, therefore more treatment conditions are needed or fewer factors can be used. Okay, so these use degree of freedom, they also use this interaction use a degree of freedom. So more treatment conditions needed or fewer factors can be used, okay, while there is an interaction. So here this we can see that there is no interaction between these two factors. So this is no interaction, but B1 and B2 are somewhat interacting, okay, with this parameter. So there is little interaction, and here we can see that there is a strong interaction. So orthogonal arrays are used in parameter design to obtain optimal factor levels for robustness and cost in order to improve the product and process performance. Okay, so statics can be applied in pure and applied research to find out relationship between a mathematical model. Okay, here we need to have the knowledge of statistics. Interactions are primarily between control factors and noise factors, as we have discussed earlier. So these control factors like depth of cut, feed, and speed of the spindle can be affecting the performance of the process or product. And the noise factors include the factors like there is some virus, there is some disturbance, there is some noise, there is some vibration, and some leakage of the seal, and some other factors. So these are noise factors. So interactions are primarily between the control factors and noise factors. So as long as interactions are relatively less, main effect analysis will give the optimal results and good reproducibility. Okay, so these are certain factors which are taken care of while preparing the graphs for interactions. So these are very important. So here we come to the end of the chapter of quality engineering proposed by Dr. Taguchi. So more focus was based on robust kind of design. So I will conclude here. Robust design, as proposed by Taguchi, is a good approach to control the quality at early stages of the product development. Okay, he said that the product's quality must be controlled at the design phase, not at the inspection phase. He believes in controlling the quality at the design phase itself. So that will term to be a development of a robust design. So quality design must be developed and to ensure a minimum loss to the society. The product must be planned in such a way that must be designed in such a way that it should not affect the society in any way, like in detrimental of the product will also be a loss to the society, or if the product is causing environmental pollution, hazardous effect to the human being or to the plantations, that will lead to loss in the society. So that has to be controlled. Okay, then comes the orthogonal array concepts that we have discussed today assures best selection which will maximize the response under the influence of noise when the parameters are set at certain levels. So we have seen that this orthogonal array technique for design of experimentation is the best technique to find out the optimum number of parameters or number of test conditions required to be performed for conducting any experimentation. So we have also discussed that design of experiments can be used in automotive, airlines, insurance, restaurants, hotels, etc. Okay, so by using these concepts, the results can be analyzed by computing the signal to noise ratio that we have discussed in previous lecture using the approaches like nominal the best, smaller the better, or or some other parameter that are being proposed by Dr. Taguchi. So this completes the unit of quality engineering by Dr. Taguchi, and these are some references.